Long ago, in the great and ancient city of Ujjain, there lived a wise and brave king. His name was King Vikramaditya. He was famous across many lands, not just for his strength in battle, but for his fairness, kindness, and love for truth. People said King Vikram's crown is heavy not only with gold but also with duty. He ruled with justice, he helped the poor, and he always kept his word. One quiet evening, the lamps in the palace were burning low. The court was empty and the air was calm. At that time, a stranger arrived at the palace gates. He wore saffron robes like a monk. He walked slowly, his head bowed, and in his hand he carried a small basket of fruits. The palace guards were surprised that why would a monk come alone at this time? They took him before the king Vikram. The monk politely but firmly said, O King Vikramaditya, I have come here to ask for your help. He then continued, Your Majesty, beyond the western hills, there lies a cremation ground. There, on a banyan tree, hangs a dead body. But that body is not ordinary at all. It has a spirit inside it, a ghost named Betal. I need that body for a ritual I must perform. King Vikram listened carefully. He could see that the monk was not an ordinary visitor. Something about him felt mysterious. Then the monk offered the basket of fruits to the king. He said nothing more. But his gesture was clear. The fruits were not just a gift, they were a symbol. It was as if the monk was saying, These fruits are a sign of trust. If you accept them, you accept the duty I ask of you, Raja Vikram. King Vikram accepted the fruits. He looked into the monk's eyes and said calmly, If your purpose is right, I'll help you. But if your work harms the innocent, I'll not take part in it. The monk nodded, his face showing both gratitude and a secret thought. He needed King Vikram's promise and his word of honor. Without it, his plan would not work. The same night, King Vikram set out alone. He carried a sword in one hand and a lantern in the other. The palace guards watched him go, but no one dared to stop him. He left the basket of fruits at the palace gate and walked into the dark forest. The forest was silent except for the wind. At last, he reached the banyan tree in the cremation ground, and there, hanging from the branch, was the dead body, which is pale, still, and lifeless. King Vikram climbed up the tree and gently lifted the dead body onto his shoulders. But then the corpse moved. A cold laugh filled the air. It was not a laugh of a man, but of a spirit. Betal had awakened. Betal started speaking. His voice is echoing in the night. O mighty king, you are brave indeed, but let us see how wise you are. I will tell you strange stories. Stories of kings, queens, lovers, and common people. Each story will end with a question. If you answer that question correctly, I'll fly back to my tree. If you answer it wrongly or stay silent, even after knowing the answer, your head will break into pieces. This was not a random test, it was a part of the monk's plan. The monk had chosen Betal for a reason. He needed a spirit which is clever enough to test the king's mind and strong enough to stay bound by magic. The monk wanted power. He thought if he could control Betal, he could know all the secrets and change his fate. The ritual he was performing needed a human sacrifice of great worth. Only then would Betal lose his freedom and become the servant of the person who offered the sacrifice. The final step was cruel and simple. Present King Vikram's life as payment, and Betal's will would be sealed. But to make the spell work, he needed someone pure and brave, someone like King Vikram, to bring Betal to him. The basket of fruits had been the price. The king's promise was the real contract. But the monk had made one mistake. He did not understand the King Vikram's heart. Vikram was not only brave, he was just and honest, and he could not be used as a tool by anyone. So, night after night, as King Vikram carried Betal through the forest, the spirit began to tell him stories. Each tale was strange and filled with puzzles about love, loyalty, greed, wisdom, and sacrifice. And after every story, Betal would ask a question. If Vikram answered correctly, the Betal would laugh loudly, slip from his grip, and fly back to his tree. Then King Vikram would go back again and bring him down once more. In this way, 25 tales were told. The monk thought that by repeating the task, the king would grow tired and fail. But the opposite happened here. Each story made King Vikram more wiser. He understood more about people, their hearts, their hopes, and their faults. He learned that a true ruler must have not only power but also understanding and patience. His answers showed that he valued justice over comfort, truth over silence, and kindness over pride. Meanwhile, the monk watched all this from a distance. At first, his heart was full of ambition. He wanted to finish his ritual and gain power over spirits. Finally, the night came when the monk was ready for his final ritual. He planned to trap Betal forever and use his knowledge to control destiny itself. But Vikram now understood everything. He realized the monk was not a holy man. He was a tantric, hungry for power, ready to misuse magic. The basket of fruits, which once looked like a kind gift, now appeared as a symbol of temptation, a quiet deal between the duty and danger. King Vikram remembered his own words that he'll not do anything that harms the innocent. So he made his choice. He chose his people and his principles over his promise to the monk. With one swift move, King Vikram broke the monk's plan. The ritual failed. The monk's power ended. Betal, who had watched it all, smiled for the first time, not with mischief but with respect. He said, "O king, you are not only brave, you are truly just." And with these words, Betal vanished. From that night onwards, the stories of Vikram and Betal were told across generations. They were not just stories to entertain, they were lessons about truth, justice, wisdom, and courage. Each tale was like a mirror. When we listen, we see ourselves, our choices, our fears, our strengths. And so the 25 tales began. The tales that would teach kings and common people alike what it means to be truly human. This is the world of Vikram Betal, a world where every riddle hides the truth and every answer tests the soul. Thank you so much for watching. Please like the video to support my channel. Share it to your friends and families if you like the narration. Subscribe the channel for more such fascinating content. Thank you so much. Jai Hind.